There's over 80 badges in NBA 2K20. Gone are badges like Limitless Range and Posterizer, and they're replaced by badges called Range Extender and Contact Finisher. I'm gonna go through all the new badges and info in NBA 2K20 that we learned so far and tell you exactly what they do. All in this one video. Let's get it, man.
I'm feeling your energy, and shorty, man, she really into me. I got lots of enemies, and they wanna act like they friends with me. I came up from bummy.
Yo, before you guys watch the video, I put a lot of effort into making the most in-depth 2K20 video explaining everything about all the new badges, all the new features in NBA 2K20. So if all you guys could do is just drop one like for me on this video, that would mean a lot to me. But let's get to it. Yo, what's up guys? It is PowerD back with another video. There's been a lot of speculation and thoughts about NBA 2K20, but today we finally got some real concrete info in the gameplay blog and from Mike Wang on Twitter. I know if you guys have probably already heard about the gameplay blog. If you haven't read it, read it below. It dropped some info about the gameplay. It confirmed that Takeover is back in the game. It talked a little bit about badges and that there's going to be 80 badges in NBA 2K20. Most of them are going to be new. Even the old badges are going to be changed. There's a lot of changes going on. So a lot of people have posted that article and you guys can pretty much read it for yourself. It's self-explanatory. But what I wanted to dive into is the real info that was dropped. It was by Mike Wang on Twitter. And he talked about a lot of the new badges. He explained names of new badges in the game like Worm, Rebound Chaser, Clamps. All these badges are new in the game. So I'm going to go through everything that he said and all the new info we learned about NBA 2K20 in his tweets. So I hope you guys enjoy and let's get into it. Okay guys, so the first thing and the first badge we found out about is someone asked, Epaluba, is there a badge called First Step badge? And then Mike Wang said yes, called Quick First Step. So this is a badge, this is a new badge we've never heard of before, just called Quick First Step. He didn't really kind of explain like what it does or any details about it, but I'm guessing that it's probably going to allow you to speed boost really quick. So what we usually are used to as speed boost, and I'm thinking you're going to need like the Quick First Step badge to speed boost or something like that. Now the next one is Volume Shooter is also back. So somebody asked Volume Shooter potentially because he was dropping a lot of these badges. So someone asked, is Volume Shooter potentially back? He said Volume Shooter, and if you guys don't know, if you guys didn't play like 15, Volume Shooter was basically a badge that was like, it gave you, so if you shot more, then you would get high and you would make more shots. But if you didn't shoot, then it would make you worse. So a lot of people didn't like this badge because let's say my teammate was just going off and I didn't take many shots. Like I would automatically go cold just because I had Volume Shooter. But Mike Wang said Volume Shooter is also back, but with better logic. Boost your ratings if you can maintain your field goal attempts / per minute. Now, I'm not really a big fan of Volume Shooter, but I'm fine with it as long as it only adds stuff. Like, I'm fine if Volume Shooter's like, okay, if I'm shooting a lot, it's going to boost me. But I don't like it where it's like it encourages you to be selfish, because if you don't shoot shots, it punishes you. So I don't think it should punish you for not taking a lot of shots, but I should just help you if you do take a lot of shots. Alright, so another badge they dropped up here is, have you guys ever thought about bringing back Interceptor badge or recreate something where Pickpocket and Interceptor is one badge? And then Mike Wang just responded, Interceptor is back. Now these are a lot of old badges. If you guys played, I think this was in 16, Interceptor was a badge like basically it just helped you like be in the passing lanes and just catch steals better. So a lot of people like the Interceptor badge. I like the Interceptor badge a lot. So Interceptor is going to be back in NBA 2K20. Now, this is another one. This is another one that they kind of alluded to in the blog when they were talking about off-ball movements. But they said, are there elite off-ball players separated with a badge, or is there an attribute? Mike Wang said, slippery off-ball badge gives you more success with the new off-ball juke moves and get open stuff I blogged about. Also helps you get free from defenders who try to jam you up. Jers the Curse did a fantastic job with the off-ball upgrade. So there's so many new badges. Like there's a badge pretty much for everything they split up to. It's like every action has a badge. So there's like I'm trying to figure out like, how do you get these badges? Is it by your ratings or is it by your attributes? But like a slippery off-ball, I guess that's gonna help you with just like juking or whatever that means. So the next thing he said, but Beluba is Fade Ace badge back. So if you play 16, you know about that. These are all old badges. So Mike Wang said we have a deep fades badge that helps you hit post fades from further out. Now, I don't know. I don't really know. That scares me right there, because what is deep fades? How further out are they talking about? Does that mean I can get deep fades and I can just start post fading from the 3-point line? Yeah. So that badge makes me kind of nervous, but there's actually a deep fades badge in the game. So that's gonna be a new addition, a badge that we never heard of. So now I want to move on to, he talked about some defensive badges. So somebody asked, Epaluba, is defensive stopper still in 2K20, or is it split up like 2K16 when there was perimeter lockdown defender and post lockdown defender? Now, Mike Wayne said there are a lot of new defensive badges. They have clamps. See, that's a weird badge name. So clamps for perimeter locks. So I guess that's like defensive stopper for like perimeter players. And there's post move lockdown for paint defenders, to name a couple. So there's even more than that, but there's like a clamps new badge, and there's post move lockdown. So we already got probably like 8 new badges that we talked about. Now, another badge they talked about, somebody asked, are you guys bringing back the post hook specialist badge? And Mike Wayne said yes. He said it's called deep hooks, it's the Kareem badge. So I guess that's like that. I hope you do like post hooks in the paint, which is good for post scorers. Personally, I don't have a problem with post scorers. I feel like they shouldn't be like a post score and takeover, push people out of the way. They need to go back to doing post moves, doing post fades, doing post hooks, doing dream shakes like Elijah. That would be more exciting. You know what I mean? That would be more balanced too, and it would take skill to use. Now, and that's the badge they gotta talk about, is like the ankle breaker type stuff. So somebody asked, will we see a step back badge this year? And Mike Wayne said ankle breaker is still the main badge for effective step back dribble moves. So ankle breaker is still in the game. New badge called Space Creator. Like, okay, that sounds kind of cool, for more effective step back jumpers. So that's entirely new for step back jumpers. And here's one where Agent asked to reply, and he asked about any other badges making a return from previous 2Ks, post fade. Mike Wang said, here's one for you, Agent Beamstar. Smaller players can equip Giant Slayer, and it will help them score at the rim amongst the trees. Alright, so I don't know, like, Giant Slayer, does that even sound real? I'm not gonna lie, that kind of sounds like a joke. Like, is he joking about this badge, the Giant Slayer badge? Like, I don't know, that doesn't really sound real, but I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think Giant Slayer is real? That's a real badge, or you think that's a joke? Honestly, like he's like trolling us at this point, kind of. All right, so this is another thing. This is not about badges, but this is a big tweet he made about the greens. So somebody asked, is the shot meter changeable? /fee. And I know a lot of people have been wondering about the shot meter. And see, I'm telling you, all the bombs, all the info is really dropped in his tweets, bro. So if you don't follow Baluba on Twitter, you got to do it. He said, yes, you can choose whether it's by hands, at your feet, or off. The feet meter fills all the way left to right, similar to 2K17, and the by hands meter is a little smaller than last year. You can also select your green release effects. You can have a quick flash, a water splash, or a paint splat. Like, I'm really confused about what that means, but there's a green release effect apparently. And so somebody else asked, are there green release animations only seen by the player or by everyone? And Mike Wayne said everyone, no more lying about fake green. So I guess, like, if you green, like, can everybody on the team sees it? I'm not really sure about that, but basically he's making clear that you can tell whether your teammate's green or not, which is going to be big. Nobody's going to be lying about greens. You're going to know how your teammates are releasing it. So I don't know, that's exciting, to be honest. So at this point I'm getting really hyped about 2K20. So somebody asked about Takeover. We have some more badge info, but somebody asked about Takeover. At Baluba, will Takeovers still have overpowered animations? And Mike Wayne said the OP animations have been toned down or removed. So the biggest thing I think about is post score, that was so OP. Hopefully they toned down the slashing, is low-key underrated, where how you could just straight blow by people. Honestly, every takeover in the game, in my opinion, needed to tone it down, except maybe like Playmaker. But every other takeover in the game was like overpowered. Like, it shouldn't be as overpowered as it was. It was like, once you got takeover, the game is over. Like, it was serious when you say that. Like, it's like you couldn't do anything to stop people. So I'm glad they're toning down and they're kind of like patching the takeover. So that's going to be big. So next thing somebody asked about was the shot contest. Somebody said, Epaluba, what about shot contest this year? In the Vegas event, I noticed that I had percentages displaying the coverage rather than heavily contested, and etc. Is there anything new about it, or you guys just replaced the names with percentage? Now, this is something I kind of talked about, like the percentages and everything earlier in one of my previous videos, but he said we're always trying to improve the logic for shot contest and added more tools to be able to tune it and different aspects of it for different modes. And being able to see the percentage of a contest better than the generalized test should help gamers understand the system better. So he basically didn't really say anything. He just confirmed, okay, so yeah, instead of like seeing like open, heavily contested, lightly contested, you're going to see the exact percentage, which is going to be big for me because I had so many people on my team telling me, yo, I'm open. It said open, when in reality, I know like you weren't really completely open. You were 10% contest. You were a 15% contest. So that's going to be a good check for people that think they're open, because I feel like people actually felt like they were open just because it said open on the screen, even though it was just like, it really wasn't very contested. You know what I mean? All right, so the next one is rebound badges. We didn't even talk about these. So somebody asked, Epaluba, will there be more rebounding badges and animations in 2K20? And Mike Wayne goes on to say, there are always new animations added. A few rebounding badges. Rebound Chaser helps chase down the lone rebounds. So this, I like how they're splitting it up. So there's not just Hustle Rebounder. There's a Rebound Chaser. You can chase down the lone rebounds. Worm. Okay, see, that's a complete new one. Helps you get around bots out. So I guess if someone has you bots out, you can break the bots out if you have Worm. And bots makes it tougher for worms. So bots is just like the opposite. So if you have bots, maybe like the worm doesn't work and you can't get around the bots out. So I like the new like ideas, new badges. It feels like a new game. It's not like we're going to be getting the same badges as the new players. Everything's going to be different. That's why I told people to think about their player builds and what they're going to make. So another one right here, Posterizer. This is like extremely new. Somebody asked, Epaluba, is Posterizer still in the game or has it been reworked? Mike Wayne said, Posterizer is gone. 2K20 will have contact finisher. That will help dunkers posterize people, but also help smaller players who played below the rim finish with contact. Okay, so but it seems like it does the similar thing, but it has like a different ability, you know what I mean, added with it. So you can just, if you're a smaller player, it seems like it's going to help like contested layups too. It's not only like Posterizer, it's more, they combine like Relentless Finisher and they combine Posterizer into like the same thing. That kind of sounds like what it sounds like to me. It sounds like they kind of combined both of those badges into one all together. So these are a ton of new badges that are going to be very, very helpful. And I think the main key is when you get the game, you want to be able to figure out what badges are the most important now, because a lot of these badges aren't the same. And that's something Mike Wang actually talked about and he alluded to earlier. Like a lot of these badges are not going to be exactly how they are. So Mike Wayne said this would probably take all day to develop into, but yeah, most of 2K19 badges are returning. So most of them are returning, but for many of them were reworked to either be more balanced or more useful for different build types. E.g. Limitless was changed, the range extender, the boost 3s, but also deep 2s. So you know what I mean? So it's basically like, okay, so range extender is so much cooler than Limitless because yeah, it boosts like the deep 3s, but let's say you're not a deep shooter. Let's say you only shoot mid ranges. So if you shoot those deep 2s, that's gonna help you too. So it kind of helps everybody no matter what. And oh, this is a big one that we didn't talk about yet. Free throws or being back to an attribute that you can upgrade. Free throw ace is gone. So somebody said, please make it easier to get Hall of Fame free throw ace. And I like that. I don't know, free throw aces just took so much time for nothing. I don't think it should be a badge. So it's basically, it's only an attribute. You don't have to get free throw ace anymore. That's not going to be, you know what I'm saying? That's not going to be a badge anymore longer in 2K20. And they talked a little bit more about what badges they were taking out and why. Somebody said, were there some badges that were removed just due to being a wasted badge, like charge card or etc, or etc? And Mike Wayne said, we tried to cut the badges we felt nobody would ever want. Charge card is one of them. So I'm trying to think what other badges that nobody would ever want. There was a lot of badges who was like, bro, like I don't even want to get it. It's just making me get it to get the 99 overall. So I'm glad they're taking out the like useless badges like charge card, free throw A's. Like some of the badges where it's just like there's no even point for them to be in the game. You know what I mean? So, oh, this is a big one that a lot of people were talking about and you guys are probably wondering about. Somebody said, all in all, I hope bigs don't come up the court and spam dribble moves they're not supposed to have, but should be easy pickings, right? Mike Wayne said, I haven't seen any bigs have success spamming moves in development. Easy to rip and they fumble the ball a lot more. Now, this is so huge, but I don't know how much we should focus on it because it's like, I feel like the 2K devs don't know how to dribble. So like if they could, like they wouldn't find it themselves. I feel like it'd be more something like we would find. Like, so I don't know, like I feel like they say that every year. Yeah, bigs or people are gonna get ripped more easily, and then once people figure out the moves, it's like it's not reality. Okay, so this is a little bit about dribbling for you people that are dribblers. Somebody asked, is there still a rhythm dribble or you have to do every move in combo? Number one. And he said, number two, do you still choose every different animation or do you just pick one player's style? And Mike Wayne said, each flick of the RS is a single move, no more auto combos, which I think should improve like the skill of dribbling. And he said, Curry's behind the back wrap is now a standalone move. So you manually do last year's Curry combo this year by doing the tween right into the behind the back wrap. You pick one size up sig pack. So it seems like they're trying to put like more skill in the dribbling and make it like more refined than it was last year. So I like what they're doing there. So that's pretty much most or all of the changes, but I do want to review some stuff that was out a while ago but I never really talked about in the video. So if you guys didn't hear about this already, I'm gonna talk about it. So if you guys didn't hear about it, bigs won't be able to equip certain jumpers in here. So he tweeted this probably about like I think about 4 days ago. Somebody said, Mike, I don't know if you'll read this, but I hope it reaches you. There should absolutely be a cutoff. Big 7' to 7'3" players should not unlock / be able to use the same jump shot animations as a smaller player. Makes no sense. They should only be allowed set shots. And Mike Wayne said, I agree. Bigs won't be able to equip certain jumpers this year. So I don't know exactly what that means. I don't think it's the biggest deal as people are making it, because I feel like LaMarcus Aldridge is 6'11", right? And that's the main jump shot that people like to use. So I feel like bigs will be able to use at least LaMarcus Aldridge. And even if they have to use set shots, like set shot 13 is what a ton of people use this year and it was broken. Set shot 14. So I know there's always going to be jump shots for bigs to use. As long as they can shoot, I feel like changing the jump shots is not really going to do much. It might hurt the people that do the D-pad and then try to release it really quick. It might hurt them, but if you know what you're doing, I don't think you should be too worried about that. But here's another thing. This is just the final thing about the badges that Mike Wayne said. Somebody said, could you speak on if there are any changes or balancing of difficult shots badge? And Mike Wayne said, as a blanket statement, we pretty much retooled every badge. So I'd advise going into 2K20 looking at badges as a clean state. Many OP badges were heavily nerfed, and we'll be doing a lot more badge updates post-ship to continue balancing. So I think like that was a good thing to end it off with. If you guys are making your players, don't assume like things are going to be the same. Oh, I have all these badges to overpower. We have to really look into the badges to know what's different, what's going to be the same. I'm going to be quick. I'm going to figure out how to get the badges very soon. I'm going to drop a video when 2K20 drops about how you get every single badge, specific methods. But I think we're gonna have to look different in the player builds. And when they release the archetypes, I think the archetype system is gonna change heavily. That's why when people ask me right now, what's your 2K20 build power? I don't know, because it's like I don't know all the info about the game. I don't know what badges my player is going to get. I don't know what those badges do. I don't even know how the archetypes are going to be made. So as we get more info, I feel like you shouldn't just assume things are going to be the same as last year. You need to make your own judgments on what the game is like this year and what you see, because that's the biggest mistake people do. They just try to do the same thing they did last year and they mess up and they have a terrible build. So what I want you guys to do is just pay attention. But tell me below in the comment section, comment what other badges you think might be in the game, what badges you want to see in the game, what things you think are going to be different. And I'm excited for 2K20. Drop a like on this video, subscribe if you guys are new. I hope you guys with more 2K20 info, and I am out, man.
I can't be trusting cause people be switching and starting. I had to go get me some money, they always was fronting. I had to stay up to sign. I never trust up at night. She seeing that drip on the ball, make sure she won't